Okay, so this video is read the statement from the Smith College on an employee calling the police on a Black student eating lunch in a campus building. All I did was be Black, the student said of the incident. And so this is a college, and I believe this is a young lady, and she was eating lunch, and this is the college right here, pictured in this photo right here. And so she was eating lunch, and her name is going to be a little bit difficult for me to pronounce. So that picture above is the Brown Fine Arts Center at Smith College. And so the person who this article is under is Dialyn Dwyer. So Smith College says it will be conducting an investigation after a school employee called the campus police on a Black student who was eating lunch in the campus building. So it was a woman who was identified herself as a student. And so this is her name. So it sounds like it's a pretty name, but it's hard for me to pronounce. So it's Amu Canute wrote on her Facebook page that she was eating lunch on Tuesday in a common room on her break from her summer campus job as a teaching assistant and a residential advisor when she was approached by a police officer that day. And so this is what happens. A college employee had reported that someone who seemed to be out of place was in the building that was also in use by college summer programs, Smith College later said in a statement. And so it goes on to read that the college added that there was nothing suspicious about the student's presence. Canute shared 2 short videos in her interaction with the campus police explaining to him that she was a student. So the officer apologized to her. She said, "I did nothing wrong. I wasn't making any noise or bothering anyone," the rising sophomore wrote on her Facebook page. And so all I did was be Black. It's outrageous that someone or some people will question my being at Smith College and my existence overall as a woman of color. I was very nervous and I had to complete a complete meltdown after this incident. So it's just been wrong and uncalled for, and no student of color should have to explain why they belong at a prestigious white institution. So I worked my hardest to get into this school, the Smith College, and I deserve to feel safe on my own campus. And so Canute said in another post that she wants to know the name of the person who called the police so they can confront and acknowledge the harm done to me as a student. A similar incident occurred at Yale University in May when a white student called the police on a Black graduate student who was taking a nap in her dorm room, which was a common room. Actually, it was a dorm's common room, so it wasn't actually her personal room. So it was a common room where students usually frequent. So Smith went on to say that under the college policy, any police records that are released must have the names of the people who are involved that redacted. Okay, so this policy, here's where they go into their policy bit. So this policy recognizes the potential adverse consequences of releasing identifying information, especially in those cases where doing so may discourage the use of critical safety resource, the college wrote. Okay, so in its statement, Smith said that the incident has raised concerns, okay, in the school community about bias and equity. So according to the college, students of color make up 32.4% of the undergraduate student body. So college officials have reached out to Canute, according to the statement, and an investigation will be conducted into the incident with the employee who made the call and human resources and campus police. So this is where they go into this policy, and they do this at jobs, they do this everywhere, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get the treatment that it has under these quotes. So Smith College does not tolerate race or gender based on discrimination. in any form, the school wrote. Such behavior can contribute to a climate of fear, hostility, and exclusion that has no place on our community campus. So read the full statement from the school below. So this is what women of color, we go through a lot. We go through a lot. A lot of times it is always looked at as if we go into a store that we don't have any money and we're going to steal. And I can't count on my fingers and toes anymore how many times I went into stores and establishments and they right away assume because I'm a woman of color that I'm going to steal. And so I've been through this on multiple occasions. And so there were some videos that were circulating that, even, in within the Black community where other Black people will put down Black women to say that, and if these are women who have gone to school or they're doing well in life and they're raising their kids or they're single mothers and they're not criminals. I'm not talking about women who are shisty and no sugar mamas and none of that. I'm talking about women who have their head on straight and they don't want any drama and they just do what they got to do to make their life livable, and they try to get on with life in a peaceful way, in a manner. And some of us are educated, some of us work, we have careers. If we're not involved in any life of ill or crime or anything like that, we still get treated disrespectfully and we get discriminated, we get killed, we get racially profiled just like males, and we're underrepresented in those movements. So a lot of times you'll hear, there were men that were saying that, oh, well, we're the ones that are being shot at and killed. Yes, but women can get shot at and killed and get murdered. And not only on top of that, not just because of our race, but sometimes we're in relationships with other Black men, and other Black people, and we can get ostracized, we can get killed, we can get murdered. And then you have other Black women who will put down other Black women who, if we decide that we're involved in, feminism, or if we're involved in staying away from negative relationships, or if we're in alternative relationships, or if we've kind of like put ourselves aside or we have differences in views, we don't do the norm as a Black female, we get ostracized, we get treated bad, and kicked out. And our lives are threatened as well in a lot of ways. So we get it on all sides. And so we're highly underrepresented in those situations. And so a lot of times we can get raped, beaten up, and killed. And when they're looking for some woman that gets hurt, they're usually looking for women that are white. They're not looking for women that are Black. And a lot of times people don't understand how that feels to be a woman of color, and you walk in a store and you've worked hard all week, you work hard all year, and you have money, you put money in the bank, you pay your bills, take care of your family, do what you have to do, and then you're labeled as a thief because of your color. And then when you walk in a store, people are like following you down the aisle, or they're acting like they're sweeping or cleaning up when they're really watching you. And there's been multiple times that I've put my purse, like tote bag, or left it at home and brought a smaller coin purse so that it wouldn't look like I was going to take anything. But does that work? No, because you still get looked at because they think you're going to stick something in your bra, or they think you're going to stick something in your pants or in your pocket somewhere. You have some kind of, maybe you got a hollow leg or whatever. And so we get treated really shitty on all sides. And so sometimes we get treated bad within our own race of people, especially from Black males online. They'll make these horrible videos. And then I saw a white guy, I know he enjoyed saying this, why are all the Black guys on MGTOW? And MGTOW is men going their own way. These are a group of men who they distance, and they call themselves distancing, but they really haven't, because they obsess on women on all their videos. They say that they're no longer involved with women and all that. It seems really weird, but they say that they're, they're almost like similar to the incels, or they are, I believe. Some of them are, where they have this woman haterism thing going on. And so, you know, you just saw a guy who was on Tinder. He was preying upon Black women and he was killing them. And one woman, she was an ex girlfriend of the guy, and she just barely got away with her life by the skin of her teeth. And so we get killed, we get murdered by people of our own race. And then on the outside, then we have to face racism on the outside by people who aren't in our race. And so we get it on all sides. And so people got to understand that this right here is not uncommon. What this young lady experienced is what many Black women all over America have experienced. Is sometimes just because it isn't publicized enough doesn't mean it isn't happening. And so a lot of Black women get profiled just walking in the grocery store. They're looking at us thinking that, you know, what purse does she have? Is she going to steal? And I'm not saying that there aren't bad people out there or people that fit maybe a description of some people, or you would assume. But then that's pretty shaky ground because now that's going into the realm of that all Black people look alike. Because one Black or two Black people done something doesn't mean the whole race of people have done something or are going to do something. There are people that go to school that have finished college. There are people that have good careers that raise their family. They want a decent life. They want to do right and they don't want any trouble or drama, and they do have money and they can pay their way, but we still get looked at because of a bunch of folks who maybe they're involved in some kind of malice or whatever they're doing on the street. That's them. That's the personality or whatever their situation is, different case by case. But everybody is not the same. Everybody doesn't look the same. Everybody's not going to do the same things. So it's the same as relationships as well. But there's so many guys online that are saying so many mean things to women. You don't know who to trust. So that's why a lot of women remain single. I'm saying some of us do. Some of us have other reasons for it. You know, everybody's reason's not the same, but a multitude of people, I would say multiple Black women in the case that of if they're anywhere in this situation where they've been, you know, maybe gotten left with kids or they've gotten, you know, treated bad because, you know, the boyfriend decided he wanted to get a white woman or he wanted to get a woman that looked like she was white, you know, and flaunt, you know, we get, you know, guys will flaunt those women around us. And those women, a lot of times, they don't look very attractive. They look, you know, like really plain. They put a lot of emphasis on you to look, you know, like some kind of supermodel. And then when they get these other women, these women don't even look anywhere near that. Um, and a lot of it is irresponsibility. Some women have been left with kids because the man, he wanted to stay and hang out at, you know, strip clubs and bars and whatnot. And so Black women get it on all ends. We get treated bad sometimes within our own race of people. And we also get treated bad when we go to like a public establishment, or if we're doing well in life, we've achieved something or we're trying to achieve something, we're still viewed as being a thief or a criminal. And so just because it isn't publicized as much, now it is getting a lot of more publication in terms of, you know, you're hearing a lot of more stories now from women because even in the Black culture, there's this hierarchy, like patriarchy, that goes on where the men are supposed to speak and we're supposed to be concerned about all the men getting killed and racism with the Black men. But what about the racism with the Black females? And then the racism and the haterism that's within the Black culture towards the Black female. There's a disrespect and a disconnect. And then some Black females have felt that so much so that they feel like they got to settle for less than. So that's why you get these women who decide that they're going to go with these losers. And yeah, I'm going to say that. And that's meaning people who maybe the guy's not productive or he's a criminal or he's doing something. She's not doing any of that, but she goes for him because she feels like she doesn't want to be alone, so she just accepts whatever. And so there's some women have decided to throw their hands up and say, if this is what I got to resort to, then I don't want a relationship. If that's what I got to end up with, I don't want to be involved in it. And so that's why some of these women are single. Some of these women are single too because of the situation you've seen more recently when that guy was on Tinder, how he tried to attack that woman. Some women will wait until they find a better relationship. You know, maybe they are waiting because they don't want to take a risk and get hurt. And so that's the reason why. This white guy, he just loved it. He was like, well, why are so many guys in MGTOW? That's that group where they're like incels, where they have this issue against women and they have this hate against this deep-seated hate against women. And I believe that's the reason why you have those people on Tinder doing what they're doing. You know, um, this woman right here, and you're going to see other Black women who have been treated, you know, or who are going to get treated. You probably see more of these articles where women are getting treated like this in the Black culture. And we're the most unprotected, underrepresented women, I believe, around. We get treated like shit. So with that being said, I'm going to let this video go, but this right here is not uncommon. Black women get treated a lot of times like this in high prestigious establishments. We'll pursue education, we'll pursue careers, and sometimes people will view us, if they don't know who we are, as, what are you doing here? Especially if it's a campus where it's a large number of white students. And so a lot of times you get looked at and people, you know, question why are you there? And so I have gotten that kind of treatment, you know, in places where I've, you know, been to interview, or if I go somewhere or go to a particular neighborhood. But the only thing I can say is that with that, because I have a pleasant attitude with people, and when I guess people kind of feel my aura about me, they don't feel threatened because I'm not menacing. But you know, I might have a really serious look about me, but I'm not menacing at all. And so that, I guess that would help to compensate for some of the fears that some people have because of stereotypes that are imprinted out there. So anyway, with this being said, I'm going to let this video go once again. So this is it right here. All I did was be Black, the student said in the incident, and that's all it takes. Just be Black. Be Black in America and be a Black woman in America and see what you get. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening.